Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today. Today we are doing zucchini raviolis and homemade marinara sauce. We're going to start off with the marinara sauce, that way it can kind of cook down a little bit while we get all of our zucchini raviolis ready. So I have onions, carrots, and celery. We're going to just give it a rough chop and put it in a pot. We are going to puree it up, so you can cut it kind of big if you're going to puree it up. If you like a chunkier type sauce, don't puree it and have a little more uniform chop with it. So we're just going to take our celery, give it a couple chops. Like I said, I'm going to puree mine, so I'm not too worried about the size of stuff. I'm going to give my carrot a quick peel here. We just need one stalk of celery, one carrot, and one onion. The onion I happen to have was kind of large, so I'm just using half of it. If you like more onion, you can do the whole giant onion. Like I said, I'm just doing half of it. So I'm going to take the end off that onion, or end off that carrot, sorry. Throw it in the pot. Peel my onion real quick. Get all that skin off of it. And then I'm just going to give this a quick little chop. Again, we don't need to make this super fine because I'm going to puree mine up. And we'll just throw that into the pot. Turn it on. If I can get the light, there we go. Throw a lighter going. So all that is going to start cooking down. Now we can start working on our ravioli mixture. I got my 2 ounces of spinach in here already chopped up. So that we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of ricotta cheese. Just going to put it in the measuring cup here. Add that to our bowl. 1 egg, so that way it's excellent. I gotta get my egg yolks in somehow. Yeah. Then we're going to do 2 teaspoons of Italian seasoning. A little salt and pepper. Just a pinch of each. And then we need a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. And now our mixture is ready. It's all in there. We're just going to mix this all up. Making sure you kind of scrape the sides so that way you get all that Parmesan in there and everything nice and incorporated. Just making sure. Okay, yeah, it's on. I haven't heard it sizzle yet, so I just wanted to make sure it was going. So we got our filling all done. We want the egg in there so that way whenever we go to bake this, the ricotta just doesn't kind of just ooze out and melt away. That egg will kind of hold everything together. Think of it like the inside of a lasagna where you have that cheese layer. They mix egg into that ricotta cheese so that way it kind of holds everything together. We're just going to put that off to the side for now. That way we can get our zucchini and squash ready for our raviolis. I'm just cutting the ends of these off because we don't need those. I'm taking the vegetable peeler. You can get one like this or the Y peeler, whichever you like the most. And it's going to start taking strips of them off. This is going to form our ravioli skin per se. And once you start seeing the seeds, just going to give this a little turn and start peeling it again. So we're going to do this on all 4 sides of the zucchini and the squash. We hit the seeds, we're going to give it a turn. I kind of press down a little bit too whenever I start peeling, so that way I can get good pull of the vegetable. And you can save this and chop up, throw it in some stir fry later. You don't need to throw it away, it'll still be good for something. Now we're going to do our zucchini. And again, depending on the size of your zucchini and squash, will be how big your your peels will be. So we're going to do all 4 sides of our zucchini as well. And we're almost done here. If you got kids at home, this is a good thing to let them do. You know, they can use a vegetable peeler and peel the zucchini and squash for you while you chop up the stuff for the marinara sauce. So we've got our last side here of the zucchini, and it is looking good. We got some seeds there now, so I'm just going to stop. Like I said, we'll save that for some stir fry later. Our veggies are sounding great. If you can hear that, that's the sound you want to hear. We're trying to get a little bit of color and sweating them down, soften them up, and that way they're going to be good for our marinara sauce. So we're just going to kind of push these to one side of our cutting board, and we're going to start forming our raviolis. If you got little ones like this, we can still use those. Don't throw them away. We're going to just make them. You know, we'll take a couple and combine them together. Because you got a nice big one like that. That's great, and then a little tiny one. We'll still make it work. So all we need to do is we'll take 2 pieces and go one way with them, and then we'll kind of take 2 pieces and go the other way with them. These little tiny ones that you get whenever you first start it, just do two or three of those together, and it'll work out great. And we just need to grab a spoon, and we can take some of our filling here. You just need about a tablespoon-ish. Put it right there in the center. We've kind of made a plus sign with it. You want to take it, fold it up over one side, fold it the other side over, and we're kind of folding it up on itself. And then when we go to put it in our pan, make sure you put it fold side down, so that way it all stays together. So now we're going to do up the rest of our raviolis while our marinara sauce is cooking. Like I said, we got some of these are kind of small and broken. We'll just put a couple of those together. It'll be okay. So we got a couple, zucchini one way, squash another way. So that way we're getting plenty of color in our diet, and plenty of color in our food. Because we eat with our eyes before we do our stomachs. So fold it over, fold it over, fold it over, and there we go. So we got a couple of small ones. Maybe get a medium-sized one, kind of layer them up a little bit. There we go. Our veggies are sounding good. Starting to get a little color on the onion. That's good. Here in a second we can add our garlic and tomato paste, and then we can add our tomato sauce. Fold it up. Come on, stay folded. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and add my chopped garlic to the pan, and then add my tomato paste. We add the tomato paste now before we add all the other tomato products. That way we can get a little caramelization on the tomato paste, and that will help give it a little bit of flavor to our sauce, because we're concentrating the tomato paste even a little more. So just giving that a big stir, mixing it all up. You can see, we're getting everything all mixed in there. That tomato paste is covering everything, giving it some good flavor. And we're we're going to let that go for just a minute or two, then we'll add our tomato product. You can do crushed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, tomato puree, tomato sauce. Like I said, I'm gonna put a immersion blender in mine and puree it all down, so it doesn't really matter. If you like, chunkier sauce, cut this up smaller, and then crushed tomatoes would be great for that. So it's getting our can opener here. So we got one 29-ounce can or 28-ounce can of tomato product. It's open. Why aren't you coming out? The can's giving me some technical difficulties. But now it's all the way out. Let all the tomato stuff come out, then you pop off completely. And then we're doing another 15-ounce can of sauce. Add that all in there. Mix it all up. Then we need a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. So we'll add our Italian seasoning. And if you want, you can add a pinch of crushed red pepper flakes. If you like a little, this will just kind of give a little help to it. You don't have to do that. I like things with a little bit of spice. That will just kind of let you go, ooh, there's something here, but not enough to hurt you. A little salt and pepper. Where'd they go? A little pepper. And a little salt. Mix in that salt and pepper. Some marinara sauces tell you to add in water or chicken stock to it. We're not doing that because we're not going to let this cook down all the way. We got tomato product in here. We got everything we need. Just going to let it cook while we do all this, and it'll be ready to go. The ones that have some added water to it sometimes ask for you to cook it for 8 hours. That water evaporates away in that 8-hour cooking process. We're not cooking this for 8 hours. We're cooking this for maybe 20 minutes. So that way it'll be ready to go. So that's why we didn't add any water or chicken stock to it. We're using it right away as opposed to letting it cook forever. So we're going to finish up making these raviolis. We're going to speed up the process and do a couple at a time. We want to try to get a 13 by 9 pan of these. So depending on how many you make, you might have extra for another pan. You might have a little extra of the filling too. That's okay. You can kind of drop the filling into the pan in the marinara sauce and kind of cook up. You can have your little ricotta dumplings with your raviolis. We'll fold these guys up, flip it fold side down while we wait for everything else to be done. Fold this up. Alright. This is when we need that fast forward button so we can fast forward through me making all of these raviolis, but I don't know how that button works when you record it, so just gonna watch me do this. We actually did this the first year I did my kids cooking camp. We actually made this with the kids, and the kids loved it because they gotta make a big mess, get their hands dirty, and then usually the next day, whenever the kids took it home to their parents, the parents would ask me the next day when they were dropping them off or picking up, what did they make yesterday? It was so good. I'm like, oh, it was zucchini raviolis. We'll give you the recipe tomorrow in their cookbook. And then I'd get tagged in pictures of people making it with their kids after camp, and they still loved it. So it's good if the kids are going to eat it, or if kids will eat it. We're going to do a couple more here. just because I know my pan takes about 12-ish raviolis. I made some earlier, so I can show you a finished product. Get it a little more in here. I could probably fill these raviolis up a little bit more, but I want to make sure we got enough for all of them. So at least the marinara sauce is smelling good while we're doing this. You never go wrong with having, you know, nice Sunday gravy, as they like to call it, going while you're making everything else. I don't remember peeling that one. When the green and yellow get stuck together or grow together. That's right, it'll still taste good. Get these guys pulled apart. Get some filling in there. Another thing you do, you can put this filling into a Ziploc bag and you can just kind of squeeze it into the ravioli, and that way you don't have to get your hands dirty with the filling. So we're going to roll these up, and we're going to have some nice raviolis for dinner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll make one more because I know that's what will fit in my pan. You know, you can do all these and then you bake a little bit extra in the second pan. I just know my pan holds 12. You know, some 13x9 pans are shaped a little differently than others, just depending on the brand that you get. So let's get this last one here. And we are good to go there. Going to give this one last stir, turn off the heat. I'm just going to puree this up right in the pan here because I got my immersion blender. If you do this in a blender, be careful to do it in batches. Make sure you have your lid cracked, because if you try to blend up a boiling hot liquid, your lid will blow off and explode all over the ceiling or your face. And it's not fun, so be careful if you do this in, you know, a blender, magic bullet type thing. Be careful, steam will kind of make the lid burst off of it. That's why I like immersion blenders. All we're doing is pureeing this up to a smooth consistency. This is also a great thing if you got, you know, your kids are yelling at each other because someone took the remote for the video games. You can go, "What'd you say? I can't hear you. What was that?" Okay, sure. So our sauce is a nice smooth consistency now. Make sure you get that all off your immersion blender. I'm going to throw that in the sink. So we get a little ladle here. Put some down in the bottom of our pan. Spread it all around so that way the zucchini can bake in the sauce. Then we're just going to start putting them in. Make sure you're putting them fold side on the bottom. And they are looking good. Like I said, you can get a couple more out of the 2 zucchini and squash, but my pan holds 12, like I said, so we did 12. Those couple other ribbons will go into a nice stir fry for me. So we got our zucchinis in there. It's going to take a little more of this sauce. Spread all over top of the raviolis. And that's looking good. Now we're going to take a little bit of cheese here. Everything's better with cheese, even my jokes. Of course, it'll help you open it the right way. There we go. When in doubt, use a knife or scissors. Just be careful if you do. Sprinkle a little cheese on top. That's a nice little mozzarella Italian blend. A little Parmesan. Now we're going to throw these guys in the oven for 25 minutes at 375, and they'll be nice, gooey, and cheesy whenever they come out. So I'm going to throw these guys in. Voila. They're all done. We used the fast forward button there. So let's get a plate. And a spatula here. We'll grab one of these guys out of here. And you can see how it nicely held up when you cut it. You know, you got that nice cheese filling in there. You got a nice homemade marinara sauce. Should put more cheese filling. There's the cheese filling. See how it kind of held together when you baked it? That's the egg in there. So I hope you guys enjoy this. You don't even know it's not pasta. It's so good. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time when we make something else yummy.